How's it going, everybody? Frankie here from Mirth Films. Another episode of Kinda Live, Kinda Living, and today we got a super special guest, gnarly guitarist from the band Spafford, Brian Moss. What's up, Brian?
Hey, what's up, Frank? Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How was the Halloween show? Was there a lot of prep going into it? I know you guys had some crazy costumes you were wearing.
Yeah, Halloween was great. We always try to go all out with it and, pick a theme or several themes. And this year we chose to be all villains. And so we chose those respective themes from the movies or cartoons, wherever it all came from, and intertwined them into our own songs. And yeah, it kind of went off without a hitch, just like we expected. So, but yeah, the guys put a lot of work into it. So,
That's awesome. And I know you guys are quick with it too. I mean, just seeing you guys play 80K Music Fest, you were doing that Mighty Mighty Boss Tones song.
right.
And just like, is that something that's just like happening during sound check? Are you guys like on the bus just like playing, acoustic instruments? Like what makes you guys like just like get it fast?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think like any one of us can, be at a supermarket or listen to a song on the radio or whatever, and it brings you back to, we like to listen to the music that we grew up listening to, obviously like searching for new music too, but when some of those like nostalgic songs like come on and you're like, man, this would be a banger to do, wouldn't it? And then like all you need is one other guy to be like, sure would. And then it's like, hey everyone, I think we're gonna give it a shot. So that's how the impression that I get kind of came into rotation here. Plus, we really enjoy playing ska music. Um, as I think a lot of us come from like a background of ska music. I was a big Less Than Jake fan like growing up, and so we share that commonality, and yeah, so try to find songs that work for us all, and that's where that came from.
That's awesome. That sounded
Yeah.
so cool, man. And just to get into it, I mean, you guys canceled the show because of low ticket sales in a market that maybe you guys weren't familiar with. And you just set the tone. You said it how it was. I really love that, and especially because yeah, I even like on the East Coast. Like with music festivals, that pre-sale ticket is everything. That is that guarantee that people are going to show up, and and for you guys, you're touring religiously, and you have expenses, you have you know maybe families to feed. So like that decision, and which it seemed to be received very well. Jambase picked it up. Like what was the feeling that morning before making that video? And like, was that a group decision or is that your decision?
Um, so I got the call earlier that day. I was in touch with my manager who was in touch with the promoter for the event. And it was touch and go there for, at least a week. Coming out of a really strong first week in the Pacific Northwest, we were surprised to see, that Sacramento show like not doing well. Um, and in relativity, right? I mean, it was an 1,100 cap venue. There was about 100 pre-sale, tickets sold, and which is great. I mean, I'll take 100 pre-sold in a lot of markets. I will, and but for that size venue, it didn't seem right. So we didn't cancel the show. The promoter wound up canceling the show, but we obviously agreed to it. And and it happens, and I remember years ago it happened to us in Tuscaloosa. They canceled the show in Tuscaloosa. Maybe it was two times in Tuscaloosa, and we never got a chance to play there. But it is just the reality of the situation. So that morning, when this was all happening, I've been trying to kind of be a little bit more, honest and open about things in my own life and how that's kind of spewing into, the Brian that's the musician and how I can address the fans, as I, can be a spokesperson for Spafford and all that. So, yeah, I felt like just being really honest that day. And I asked, I think we asked the venue if it was okay if we were kind of transparent about it. And they said, like, go ahead and do with it what you will. And, I do think that the industry needs a little bit more of that. And, just, yeah, it was a hard pill to swallow. And it was definitely a hard thing to say. but I just wanted to be honest. And you know, and it happens, and it doesn't just happen to us. It happens to a lot of bands. You mentioned festivals. I mean, festivals like, I don't think Peach went on last year, right? Lock-in didn't go on, so I don't know if it's as much as like in crisis mode, or we're headed there, or we're about to come out of there, but a lot of things changed, after COVID. And a lot of bands have been, facing an uphill battle, Spafford included. I see a lot of bands that used to play a lot bigger rooms. They're downsizing their rooms. We luckily haven't really needed to downsize rooms because we've always been kind of in like the appropriate size room for us and still trying to like fill those out. But I have seen a pretty decent uptick for us, and those pre-sale numbers for us in a lot of other markets in the country. It was just Sacramento that kind of got away from us. And and it sucks because the venue lost money, the band lost money. It did happen. It wasn't a good thing to cancel it, and we didn't get a chance to play the show and to play for me, like my old motto is like, I'm playing just that one person in the room that that it makes sense to play for. Like if I could change one person's life in that room and turn them into a fan, that's what matters to me. And we didn't get a chance to play for that person in Sacramento that night. Those few people that maybe were coming to see the band for the first time.
Makes sense. And now, like with all of that, and do you think like that also is just reflective on the state of the jam band scene post COVID? Just lower numbers, or maybe generational change, or do you think it's just we're in a financial crisis kind of the United States, and that's like kind of the root of it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's just like one thing to blame for it, or one reason on why this is happening. I think it's all those things that you mentioned. I mean, for jam bands specific, it's not the 90s anymore. The college kids aren't necessarily going out and doing that. We play those cities. We play the college towns, and we could be playing the jam band bar, that's got X amount of people out there, but the country bar right next door is sold out. It's packed, and or there's a K-pop act that comes through, or some DJ from the Jersey Shore is playing down the street and selling 900 tickets. It's like the social media influencer world's kind of taken over. I think people are just kind of consuming what's right in front of them, and in a way kind of who has the most like money to slam that marketing in your face. I remember the days with marketing and advertising when it was a little bit easier with Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff, and all our posts were doing really well and all that. And then it seems that Facebook and Instagram not only dinged us but dinged everybody. I see a lot of bands, and they make you pay for it. So in order to get the word out, they're gonna kind of make you pay to get that extra reach. So there's a lot of things that we try to do to really touch people and not go for that like paid thing. We want to still come in and do it the organic sort of way.
For sure, for sure. And yeah, no, I definitely, yeah, I mean, the numbers, the algorithms, it all plays into it. But one thing that stays true is the music. And you guys just dropped Live Volume 5. I guess, like with picking the song selection, is the live recording over a span of shows? And is that something you guys picked collectively, or like you felt that night, oh, I'm writing this down, this one's for the books?
Yeah, I think at least for me, I remember like, oh yeah, this version that night, like that was killer, and I've been doing this for a long time, so I just remember the feeling that it made me feel like on stage. And so when I put in my selections, those are the ones that I want to put up there, like what I thought was the best, not necessarily what the fan might have thought was the best. Because to be honest with you, the fans sometimes think that the best shows that they listen to are the ones when we felt the most uncomfortable on stage. So there's like a disconnect there sometimes, which I think is hilarious. And but that's just the way that it goes. So yeah, we all throw in like, a bunch of songs in the hat, and we have, volume 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 kind of ready to go. We're just trying to release them, not too close to each other, but yeah, it's a fun like group project for us all to kind of work on and throw songs in the hat.
Hell yeah, man. And with that, you guys have been kind of settled in the lineup that you currently have for over a year now. What do you love about it? What do you love about just the live performances and maybe just the group mentality off the stage?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to go there first. The way that this group communicates off the stage to me is like the most important piece of the puzzle here. And we do it very well. And that doesn't mean that feelings don't, arise or, we work through our, we have our differences, but the difference is with this group is that we're able to really work through them in a very healthy manner. And I think that that's what's creating us a closer bond off the stage, and that carries to on the stage. As far as the musicians with these guys, after we picked up, Corey and Sean, they're both Berkeley guys, and it's funny because I always wanted to go to Berkeley, um, but instead I kind of cut my teeth, like just touring the country. And I always laugh because I think like Sean and Corey were like doing this one mode of where you would come out of like high school as wanting to be a musician. And I went this other route. And like we spent, 10 years or whatever, on these different paths. And then all of a sudden, like, we somehow merged together. And I think it's funny to, if I didn't get a chance to go to Berkeley, I think that it's really funny that I get an opportunity to play with musicians that did go to Berkeley. And they are astounding musicians. I mean, these guys' ear and feel for music is something unlike I've really ever experienced before. And I think everybody really knows their place with their respective instrument on stage. And I think that a lot of the songs just sound really tight right now, and it's just super fun to play.
Incredible, man. Yeah, no, I love your guys' Instagram. Just gotta say, because you're quick with it. You put out a lot of content. There's a lot of Corey content, and just yeah, that synth with the mix of your guitar and just it's awesome. And just to bring it back a little bit, and correct me if I'm wrong. You guys were originally an Arizona band.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it formed in Arizona.
So I
Um,
first heard of you guys just like a lot of other people through the song Reprise. I'm like sitting on SPAC lot. It's 2016. Vibes are great. And then Bigger's Dozen happens. And you guys play a hell of a show at the BB King Blues Club.
yeah.
Now that at that time, like, was it hard to get that same, let's say, recognition or pull on the East Coast, or was that already happening before that era of time?
So yeah, I mean, Spafford, that was like our first kind of wave that we were riding, and we couldn't stop it. And it was coming in fast. It was coming in hard and heavy, and we were packing rooms like all over the place. And I think that respectfully, it was a lot to deal with as the musicians and as where we were in our own personal lives and what was going on. There wasn't something very symbiotic about it, and we were really trying to hang on with what was going on there. But things started to kind of like fall apart a little bit, um, and I think that we had to kind of reach this like kind of lull period to. Like recenter ourselves. Changes have been made. And now with this new, like mature, sort of wiser version of Spafford, it seems to be maybe this second wave is about to embark on us. And we are ready for it. And that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
That's amazing. And you mentioned you centering yourself. Sometimes it takes a trip to another country, and something you got to do was go to Greece, and it was cool, like seeing you. Like, did you, Ryan Montbleu, and your former keyboardist just plan that, or was that like?
Yeah, that's really funny. So I originally wanted to go to Thailand. Um, and because Red, our old keyboard player of Spafford, he's been traveling the country, or traveling the world for 3 years. So I kept up with him throughout the majority of his travels. I mean, he was in Albania and Southeast Asia and this, that, and I couldn't even keep up with it. And so obviously when I was looking for advice on where to go, I hit him up and I was like, yeah, I want to go to Thailand. And he's like, well, don't go to Thailand in September because it's the rainy season there. He's like, but him and his wife were going to be in Greece. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not sure. Like I know much about Greece. Let me do some chat GPT on it or something.
Yeah.
And it spit out this whole, sort of trip for me. And I realized that I could um, begin my trip at the end of his trip. So we would overlap for 2 days and we would overlap in Athens. So that's what we did. And it was really hard for me to buy the ticket and just push the button, but I did it. And once I did, I really had something to kind of look forward to. As most normal people kind of have trips planned, whether it's going to shows or doing vacations and all that stuff. But for us as musicians, I think that we always have something planned, but it's going to do another gig.
Yeah.
Um, we're always kind of catering to other people and their vacations rather than having our own. And I brought that sentiment. I saw Ryan Blue at ADK Music Festival. We were talking, and we were talking about, life and our struggles and goals and all this stuff. And I was like, dude, I gotta tell you, I booked this trip to go to Greece, because this is what I feel like I need right now. I'm like, why don't you come along? And he was like, oh, yeah. And 3 days later, he hit me up and he was like, I booked a trip. And I'm like, no shit. So when we got there, we all met in Athens. We had 2 days with me, Red's wife, and Ryan. Had 2 days. We went to the Acropolis together. We did all that, and then me and Ryan, we took a flight and went to Naxos, and we spent a couple days out in Naxos. Just traveling, searching for secluded beaches and doing all this random fun stuff. So yeah, we went, searching for all these beaches and ate all this food and talked life and brought the guitar to the beach and we were trading songs with each other and me and Ryan really got to know each other and it was great. And then he pushed off and made it back to the States. And then I had about 6 days on my own to finish out the trip. And I hopped around a couple of the other islands and, really had the experience that I was kind of looking for, to kind of get away from everything that was going on around here and kind of, find myself as just Brian the tourist, in a foreign country and just, yeah, it was so amazing.
You got to let your guard down, have some fun. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
this business is literally all to cater. I mean, when you're on the other side and you are the musician or you are the stagehand, vice versa, I mean, days just go by and then it's just like, no pun intended, but like, it's just like, it's nice to just be like, okay, it's okay to stop. It's okay to just like let things be and just be present.
Yeah, it's funny because like I go on these tours and then I'll come back home and and I'll do this 3 week tour and then next week I'll come back home and I'll see some other band that has a show, that weekend and there's people out and I'll like look at myself and be like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything with my life. And it's like, no, like you just got off of the whole 3 week tour, like relax, like take this time to relax. So I'm learning how to do that better now than I ever did before.
That's awesome. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that. And just the last couple of questions. I know you're a busy guy, so um, you know, traveling across the country, I'm sure you get to experience all a bunch of different cuisines. Um, Random question, but it's obligated on our part. The Reuben sandwich
Okay.
fan. Um,
I'm a Reuben fan, but not corned beef, right? So it's got to be pastrami.
Pastrami. Okay.
Okay. And with the sauerkraut. And the way that I like to do it is I put that yellow mustard on the bread. Okay.
Okay.
And then I dip in the Thousand Island.
Ooh, okay. I've never heard that before.
That's how I do it.
Oh man, I gotta have it the Brian Moss way then.
That's it. That's the way.
And then just last question, just any plugs, anything coming up you guys are excited about that is that has been announced that you can talk about publicly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the rest of the year, we got a whole slew of shows coming up. We got a three show run in Colorado on basically the Front Range, I guess. But really excited to go do that. That's going to be a blast. We obviously have the rest of this tour to really look forward to. We're headed back to our home state in Arizona in just a couple days. Um, and there's another tour after that. I forget exactly where that's going, but it's going to be fun. And then New Year's in Milwaukee, 3 night at Vivarium, and that's something that we're really looking forward to.
Hell yeah, man. Well, me along with all the other people on Mirth Films, we're excited to see you guys back on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
yeah.
and Capitol Theater with Pigeons on December 19th.
Oh, no way. You know what?
Yes.
We'll have to swing that one.
You definitely come out to that.
Hell yeah.
Hit me up. I know a guy. We'll take care of you.
This sounds great. Well, Brian, thank you so much. Go listen to Spafford's latest album, Live Volume 5, on Spotify and other streaming platforms, and buy a ticket ahead of time.
There you go. Buy your tickets, folks. Buy those tickets. Help your bands.